You wake up to the sound of rain against the glass. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. Just the heavy, steady rhythm of water hitting your roof. You sit on your bed, grab your morning coffee like any other day. While drinking your coffee, you ask yourself a question. When is it going to stop? For your entire life, this was just a minor inconvenience. A reason to cancel plans, stay inside, and watch a movie. But today, the answer to that question isn't later this afternoon. The answer is never. Modern humans spend their entire lives within incredibly fragile systems. You spend all of your life working, assuming the environment around you will remain predictable. We build our homes, our careers, and our identities on the assumption that the sun will rise, the ground will stay firm, and the rain will eventually stop. But what actually happens to an average person when nature breaks that contract? Let's start with what we know for certain. In the first 48 hours, the infrastructure we rely on to stay human begins to quietly collapse. Cities are engineered to redirect water, but only for a few hours. They are not built for an infinite deluge. By the end of day one, the storm drains are entirely overwhelmed. Streets transform into raging, impassable rivers. And then, the underground disaster begins. Floodwaters breach the city's electrical substations. Transformer by transformer, the grid shorts out. The lights flicker and then die. When the power goes out, it takes the modern world with it. The internet goes down, cell towers run through their brief battery backups and fall silent. Suddenly, the chaotic noise of modern civilization, the hum of refrigerators, the distant traffic, the constant buzz of notifications, is completely erased. It is replaced by one singular, deafening sound: the rain. You are entirely cut off. On day 3, your survival clock officially starts ticking, driven by a terrifying irony. You are surrounded by millions of gallons of water, yet you are about to die of dehydration. You go to your kitchen and turn the faucet, expecting the miracle of modern plumbing. Instead, nothing comes out. Or worse, a muddy, foul-smelling sludge drips into the sink. Beneath the flooded streets, the municipal water lines have ruptured, mixing raw sewage and chemical runoff into the clean supply. If you drink from the tap out of desperation, you introduce deadly waterborne pathogens into your system. Diseases like cholera and dysentery, which humanity spent centuries eradicating from the developed world, return instantly. A single infection will trigger severe bodily reactions, dehydrating you to the point of total organ failure within days. So, you don't drink. You ration the few bottles of clean water you have left, staring out the window at an ocean you cannot touch. Some of you might be thinking, I have shelter. I have food in the pantry. I'll just wait it out inside. It is a logical thought. But the answer to why that won't work comes from basic human biology. By day 5, your environment begins to actively turn against you. Because the sun has not broken through the heavy, endless cloud cover, there is no ambient heat. Your clothes, your furniture, your mattress, they are absorbing moisture directly from the saturated air. You assume you are safe because you are indoors, but you aren't dry. The relative humidity inside your home is now 100%. The human body loses heat 25 times faster in wet environments than in dry ones. As you sit in your damp, dark room, your core temperature slowly drops. Mild hypothermia sets in. You become sluggish. A deep, unshakable brain fog takes over. You are shivering constantly, burning massive amounts of metabolic calories just to keep your internal organs at 37 degrees Celsius. And those calories are running out fast. By week 2, the reality of starvation takes hold. The fresh food in your dead refrigerator rotted over a week ago. You are down to dry pasta and rice, but without clean water to boil them in or electricity to heat a stove, they are virtually useless. Your body enters a state of autophagy. It begins to consume its own fat reserves to survive, and when those are gone, it will begin to consume your muscle tissue. You might look out the window and consider venturing outside to scavenge, but this isn't an action movie. The water on the streets is now neck-deep. It is a toxic, churning soup of sewage, oil from submerged vehicles, and decaying animals. Wading through this water with even a microscopic scratch on your leg is a death sentence. It invites severe bacterial infections like leptospirosis, which attacks the kidneys and liver. The average person is trapped on an island of concrete, slowly wasting away. By week 3, the air itself becomes your enemy. A silent killer takes over your sanctuary. Black mold. Without ventilation or dry air, aggressive fungi like Aspergillus multiply exponentially across your drywall, your carpets, and your clothes. The smell of decay fills the room. Every breath you take draws toxic mycotoxins deep into your lungs. You begin to experience severe respiratory distress. A chronic painful cough develops. Your immune system, already shattered by starvation, dehydration, and the freezing dampness, simply stops fighting. At the exact same time, the constant exposure to water pooling on your floor causes immersion foot syndrome. The skin on your feet goes completely numb, turns a ghostly white, and begins to slough off. Without a dry environment to heal, tissue necrosis begins. Your body is slowly rotting while you are still alive. Month 2 arrives and the earth itself begins to surrender. 60 days of non-stop rain changes the physical geography of the planet. Soil completely loses its structural integrity. Entire hillsides give way, burying suburban neighborhoods in massive mudslides. In the city, the constant hydrostatic pressure pushes relentlessly against building foundations. Concrete cracks. The walls of your apartment begin to shift and groan. It sounds like the building is breathing, struggling under the weight of the water. Eventually, the foundation softens so much that the structure fails. You hear a deafening snap and you are forced to abandon your sanctuary. You climb the interior stairs, retreating to the roof. You are now entirely exposed to the elements, joining a handful of desperate neighbors who have also managed to survive this long. Half a year passes, 6 months without a single ray of sunlight. This is the absolute limit of human endurance. Your body has depleted all its stores of vitamin D. Skeletal evidence from ancient humans shows us exactly what happens during severe nutritional deficiency. Your bones become weak and brittle, a condition known as osteomalacia. Your muscles ache with every tiny movement. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells you when to sleep and when to wake, is entirely shattered. You are trapped in a waking nightmare of severe clinical depression, extreme physical fatigue, and vivid, terrifying hallucinations. Anthropologists tell us that human survival has always depended on social bonds. For 300,000 years, we survived predators and ice ages by cooperating. We talked, we shared food, and we told stories around a fire. But in the endless rain, there are no fires. Agriculture has failed globally. The worldwide food supply is permanently gone. The social contract disintegrates. The people on the roof with you are no longer your neighbors. They are your competitors for the last remaining scraps of existence. The profound isolation, the darkness, and the violent desperation break the human mind long before the water finally breaks the body. If you somehow make it to year 1, you are part of the less than 1% of humanity still breathing. But you are no longer the average person you were a year ago. You are emaciated. You are ghostly pale. You are fundamentally broken. The oceans have risen drastically. Once great cities are now stagnant, freshwater seas. The remaining humans live like aquatic nomads, clinging to crude rafts made of plastic debris, drifting endlessly beneath a sky that never clears. But realistically, an average person, without specialized military survival training, a self-sustaining indoor greenhouse, and an advanced water filtration system, would have lost their battle against the elements within the first month. Humans are remarkably adaptable creatures. We survived the harshest environments on Earth without cities, without technology, and without jobs. We built civilizations to protect ourselves from the chaos of nature. But we were never built to survive a broken atmosphere. We traded our ancient survival instincts for the comfort of modern systems. And when those systems wash away, we realize the terrifying truth. We have nothing left but the rain. So take a moment and look around the room you are sitting in right now. Look at the walls, the lights, the water in your glass. If the sky opened up today and simply never closed, how many days do you honestly believe you would last? And when your absolute limit finally arrived, what would be the thing that breaks you first? Would it be the cold, the hunger, or the profound isolation? Tell me your survival limit in the comments below. And if you think you could endure the endless water, click on the video on your screen to see what happens to the human mind when the opposite occurs.